Grab a cup of coffee. It's time for a Midwest check-in.
Midwest check-in, Midwest check-in.
How's it going? I'm back. So is the wind. That's right, I am back from my 2-week trip down under, and I have to kick things off with the most Midwest part of my trip to the other side of the earth. My trip to Target. So we got to Sydney and realized pretty quickly that we needed to pick up a few things that we would need while we were there. So I took a look at the map, and what did I find? But Target. So of course this Minnesota girl had to go to the Target in Sydney. Oh, if she only knew. So we grab an Uber and head out to this mall that has the Target in it. And we walk up the escalator and I see it. I see the bullseye from across the distance and my eyes start glimmering and we start to approach and everything looks great. We are about to walk into an Australian Target. Friends, let me tell you, don't ever step foot in an Australian Target. I was disillusioned from the first step through the threshold. My immediate first thought was that it was like a bad Marshall's. Now, if you know Target, you know it's nothing like Marshall's. So we started circling the store hoping that this was just a bad start. Spoiler alert, it never got better. The entire time I was walking through the store, I just felt my soul sinking down into the depths of the earth. I could not believe that such a beautiful thing as Target had been brought to this state. We found one of the things on our list, an umbrella, that was it. We headed to that self-checkout and got out of there as fast as possible. It took me 3 to 5 days to come out of my shock. You know where we actually ended up finding what we needed? Kmart. Kmart is thriving down under. A few days later, I got an anonymous comment from John O'Sullivan letting me know that Target in Australia is not actually associated with Target in the US. Now, while I did feel duped, I also felt extreme relief. I had been reeling in the misery of that Target for days. This brought me some peace. Genuinely don't know how they haven't gotten sued yet, but you know what? That's not my business. The rest of our trip was absolutely incredible. We hit Sydney, Cairns, Melbourne, and Queenstown, New Zealand. I have tons of pictures and videos up on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok while it's still there. So please go check it out. It was just the most wonderful trip, and I would love if it would inspire you to take such a great trip in the future. As you can imagine, it was quite the shock going from summer back to the dead of winter. It was a balmy 6 degrees when we got picked up at the airport on Sunday, and now we are back to frigid temperatures. Okay, I will actually admit that I'm filming this on Friday afternoon because it's 30 degrees instead of the 3 degrees that it's projected to be on Saturday morning. Movie magic. Next week, we are celebrating something really big here at Midwest Check-In. It is our 1-year anniversary of our first Midwest Check-In. Ironically, I filmed that video because it was so warm that I needed to check in with my fellow Midwesterners to see if we were all doing okay. We're apparently back to regularly scheduled programming. Speaking of cold, did you see that it's going to be so cold in Washington, D.C. that they're moving the inauguration indoors? Minnesotans would never. Us Midwesterners are just built different. This was literally me at Amy Klobuchar's announcement when she ran for president. It was a blizzard. But I will say to all my non-Midwestern friends, I do know that it can be really hard when it snows and it gets really cold because you just don't have the gear for it. So all jokes aside, I hope you're all doing okay. And speaking of okay, I don't have a huge audience in LA, but I do just want to quickly mention that my heart goes out to all of you in this really difficult time. I cannot imagine how scary and awful this is for you right now. All right, that's all I've got for you this week. Don't forget about my Midwest check-in gear. You can get that in the link in my bio. Thank you to everyone that bought something. I hope that you loved it. We had a few hiccups at the beginning, but you know, live and learn. We figured it out, and I hope that everyone's really enjoying their swag. To any of my friends who are watching this on TikTok, this may be our last Midwest check-in together on this platform. I do want to let you know that Midwest check-in is posted to Instagram and YouTube. I would love if you would go and find me on YouTube. So let me know, how's it going?